James' story begins in a small village that was once vibrant and full of life. In this village, life was simple yet challenging, with its own unique set of ups and downs. James was just a young child when everything quietly changed around him. One sunny day, without warning or an explanation, his father suddenly left. And there was no goodbye. The only thing they had was silence, and an empty space that seemed to be waiting for closure. His mother stood there, holding his small hands tightly, carrying the pain from the heart, and the uncertainty of the future. With no other place to go, they moved in with their relatives. Living in a small house filled with tight rooms, they had to prioritize privacy as a luxury they no longer could afford. But even in these humble surroundings, a powerful strength lived within his mother. There was still hope. She refused to let life's hardship steal her son's destiny. She worked hard to make ends meet. She endured the toughest of times, stayed strong in the face of no one watching. And in his young mind, James was learning his first important lesson in life: that life's hardship does not ask for permission to come into your life. Instead, strength is a true choice. This was not the start of success or a prosperous future. This was the beginning of James being his own resilient self. Life kept on moving forward. As years went by, James' mother got remarried, with the hope of finding stability and peace. Initially, it seemed like everything was changing for the better. There was laughter all around. Meals felt more warm and comforting. Dreams started to return in a gentle manner. James observed his mother's smile, and for the first time, he was genuinely grateful for the pain that was behind them. But time undoubtedly unveils truth. Gradually, cracks started creeping in. Arguments replaced the conversations they used to have. Silence started to replace the love they once had for each other. And once again, the marriage ended in failure. James watched his mother pack her belongings, not with anger, but with a quiet level of acceptance. She returned to her relative's home, for the second time in her life. But this time, she was no longer the same woman that she used to be. She had experienced a certain level of breakage. She refused to be broken again. She made a determined decision. She would not get married again. She would work hard and become self-sufficient. And she would take care of her child, to secure a better future for herself and her child. This was the exact moment James learned yet another valuable lesson. That strength does not necessarily arise from shouting and showing off. Sometimes, it whispers and persists in going forward. James' mother initially began selling fruits and vegetables at the local market. Prior to sunrise, she would emerge from her dwelling, organize her assortment of produce, and undertake lengthy journeys to secure a living for herself and James. Occasionally, James would accompany her on these outings. He watched her engage in conversation with customers. He observed her computation of prices. He observed her tender moments of exhaustion while smiling through them. Yet, beyond the facet of selling, she imparted him with more than just the commercial sense. She instilled in him the essence of thinking. One commanding morning, she addressed him, "My son, you can either possess a prosperous relationship with money, or suffer in the negation of it. Though money can be sinister, yet being clueless about it is certainly detrimental." She guided him in understanding that money was a tool. It served as a responsibility. It mirrored his sense of discipline and worth. The market days blended seamlessly into lessons he was receiving on economics, work ethic, and the cultivation of dignity. Gradually, within him crystallized a belief that echoed, "I am capable." This fundamental belief held the power to transform everything. Each day, just before dawn, while the quiet village slept, James' mother woke him up. They sat together in silence, occasionally by the flickering candlelight, at other times by the gentle first glow of morning. She taught him the art of reading. She imparted to him the knowledge of numbers. She shared with him the lessons her father had taught her. That education held immense power. That discipline could foster true freedom. That dreams, when pursued with effort, were merely wishes. She placed great expectations in him. And because she held true expectations, James began to look forward to it from himself. Great destinies frequently are born within the quiet moments of one's own existence. No one else seems to see them. One tranquil afternoon, James found himself sitting beneath a lush mango tree. The atmosphere was filled with serenity. The shade provided was cool and inviting. And at that very moment, the world felt utterly important. Taking a deep breath, he whispered to his mother, "Tell me, Mom, about my grandparents." His mother, sensing his earnestness, hesitated for a moment before continuing. Some memories are indeed heavy to bear, even when they are filled with love and happiness. She then began to narrate tales of the land they both owned, detailing the seasons of crops and the animals raised with tender care. She spoke of the land having been shaped by patience and meticulous planning. "They consider themselves well off," she said, "not merely because of good fortune," she continued, "but because of the wisdom they have gained from life experiences." James listened intently, taking in every word and syllable. Slowly, he spoke up. "Maybe, if I step out there, I can learn a thing or two." His mother, hesitant but determined, finally nodded in agreement. "Go," she said, "and remember, you are who you are." That very day, a seed was sown deep within him, and once sown, there was no way it could be ignored or forgotten. James shared his exciting plan with his close friends. Their reaction came swiftly. They couldn't help but laugh. A farm? Embrace the unknown and go to the city for a real job. James listened intently, not sure of the reaction. He didn't have an argument, nor did he attempt to explain his intentions. Some inner voice guided him. Deep inside him, something was evident they couldn't grasp. Not every journey looked spectacular at the beginning. As Wednesday approached, his mother embraced him tightly, showering him with love and support. He boarded the bus with a mixture of uncertainty and purpose in his heart, ready to face the unknown. As the endless road stretched ahead, he pondered, "If I acquire valuable knowledge and skills, I can help not only my mother but also my village." The true essence of growth often emerges when we forge our own path alone. At the convenience station, a dedicated driver picking James up. Upon their arrival, James was astonished to find himself there. A spacious house situated overlooking a serene river. Gardens flourishing with an array of vibrant hues. Order, peace, and abundance abounded. This extraordinary occurrence did not follow the path of luck. Instead, it emboldened James to perceive what was possible. He was cordially welcomed by the warm-hearted host, feastfully provided with generously serving food, and encouraged to rest. James found himself sleeping peacefully. For the first time in his life, he experienced the magic of dreams coming true. On other occasions, sometimes all it takes is a single exposure to what's achievable to significantly transform a life. Just before sunrise, James was already fully awake. He explored the farm. Chickens, cows, goats, rabbits, fields of peas, corn, tomatoes, and potatoes, fruit trees heavily laden with promise. But more significant than what he saw was the valuable knowledge he gained. Everything was designed with purpose. Nothing was left to waste. James asked questions. He diligently worked the land. He devotedly read books. At night, he diligently wrote letters to his mother. "I am gaining the understanding how patience can create tremendous wealth. I am committed to coming back. I am determined to help others in similar situations." Knowledge was no longer confined to mere theory. It now became a practice built on foundation of experience. James returned home after a long period of time. He was noticeably different from before. His mind had undergone a significant expansion. His confidence had grown exponentially. He began attending meetings regularly, teaching the villagers the valuable lessons he had learned. Some listened intently. Others burst into laughter. There were those who doubted the worth of his efforts. Envy began to grow in the absence of understanding. But James didn't let it deter him. He knew, not everyone is destined for growth. Leadership is not solely about popularity. It encompasses a strong sense of persistence. The years gradually passed. The village underwent a transformation. The fields started to appear more healthy. Individuals began to think in a different manner. The children conceived dreams even bigger. James constructed a life firmly rooted in his purpose. He didn't solely pursue wealth. He endeavored to create value. He disseminated knowledge. He uplifted others. And in doing so, he attained a genuinely rich life. A prosperous existence is not assessed by the wealth we possess. Rather, it is measured by the growth we experience at the level of our inner selves, and also at the level of the people around us.